for some reason, your name is being said with a 15-year-old. I'm not sure why that's happening. You refer to your dudes. Every girl that has a problem, it's the dudes around you. The dudes are with the girls. My dudes. You say it's your dudes. I don't understand that part, bruh. Because you had the nerve to go on an R. Kelly documentary to talk about a pedophile. You're a pedophile! You're a pedophile! You! Is it okay if R. Kelly is in the video with your kids? Is it still a great video? You nasty. Is that a good video? Is it? You don't have to answer. I'm going to tell you honestly, it's better you don't. You shouldn't. You should never, ever answer this. You should always keep a cease and desist, and you should never, ever talk about it.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, oh man, it looks like Charlamagne is in some hot water, all from the hands of Kwame Brown. Now, it started with just Kwame Brown, but then Funk Flex went ham on Charlamagne on the radio 2 days ago, and it made a lot of people start questioning Charlamagne and look at him a little differently. Now, for y'all, I don't know, out of town, if y'all got Hot 97, y'all can't hear Funk Flex or whatever the case may be, I'm going to put a link to the actual radio show in the description box so y'all can hear how this man went ham on Charlamagne. And I usually do not agree with Funk Flex because I feel that he like to, do a lot of brown nosing. But at the same time, this time, he went ham and I couldn't agree more with him. Now, what he went ham about? He went ham about Charlamagne's case and his past with them rape allegations, and we're going to get into it a little later. Now, like I said, I'm glad Kwame spoke up because he pointed out a bunch of the same feelings I think a lot of us had, but he has a bigger enough platform to shed light on it when it comes to Charlamagne. Now, he spoke about the whole butt sculptures that Charlamagne used to give out to grown men during the interviews on the Breakfast Club, and said it was sculptures of his actual butt. He would play around, give it to DJ Envy. First of all, as a grown man, you should not play like that. I don't care what it's about. I don't care who told you the idea. I don't care what amount of money they offer you. You do not play like that. Right? He also spoke about the feminine stuff that DJ Envy and Charlamagne does on the Breakfast Club with each other, and spoke about them saying funny things to each other about dating and being extra sexual. Listen, excuse me. He brought it all out, and I'm glad that he said something because, like I say, he has a big enough platform for it. And not to mention, he actually opened a lot of people's eyes as to what's going on up there, man. And not just with Charlamagne, with DJ Envy, with what's that girl name? Y'all know the girl they got up there. I don't know, man. The Breakfast Club started off good in the beginning, but after they became the #1 morning show, it started. But exactly like I was saying, man, you could tell they carrying out that weird agenda that I always speak about. It make us black men look weak, real feminine. It break us down, and that's just how I feel about it. And I'm glad that Kwame spoke about it because it makes me feel that I'm not the only one that feel like this. And I know it's not just Kwame, it's not just me. It's a bunch of people that feel like this been going on the Breakfast Club, but nobody wanted to speak on it. Now, I can't lie. I like what Charlamagne stood for when he first started, but I don't know if he started to feel himself once he got the bleaching situation. I don't know if he started making a little more money, but he started to use our black trauma as a way of making money, but he make it seem like he's helping us. Alright, he tries to use the mental health. He tries to use the fact that he gets help, therapy. What else? Covered in big words and just trying to act like he's so smarter than everybody. Alright, just like the rest of them people that use black trauma for their own beneficial gain. And what's even interesting is the fact that Charlamagne's lawyers actually sent Kwame a cease and desist. Yeah, desist letter. My fault, y'all. I'm just over here. I'm a little hyped because, like I said, I never seen anybody bully Charlamagne like this. I never seen anybody stand up to him like this. He's usually bullying people. He's usually the one that's the suspect when it comes to talking how he wants to people. But now someone actually giving him that same energy back. And look, now his lawyers are sending cease and desist letters. And how? I just don't get it. The question is this: if the allegations isn't true and all that is just bull crap from the past, why you got your lawyers sending cease and desist letters? Why does it even have to go that far? Because this isn't the first time somebody brought up these allegations, this case. It isn't the first time. So why now that a man like Kwame Brown is bringing it up and making good points, are you sending him cease and desist letters? What's ruffling your feathers so much that you have to get the courts involved? Now, you know that phrase, you never throw stones if you live in a glass house. Well, this is why. Now, we all knew, well, some of us, because it became a thing before that, you know, he had this whole rape allegation going on, but it disappeared. And up until now, you know, he was accused of it himself, but at the same time, he was going around making jokes about Michael Jackson, making jokes about R. Kelly, making jokes about what's his name? What's the other guy name? Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein. All these guys he's making these jokes about. Meanwhile, he has a faulty past, and that's what I can't get jiggy with right there. I can't. You have a past. It's like the pot calling the kettle black. You can't sit here and make jokes about these guys, but you have the same thing in your past. That's not fair. It's not right. And it's weird. And I also read somewhere that when that whole video came out, y'all know the video with R. Kelly, with the minors, him peeing and all that funny weird stuff. He actually said that was one of the best videos he's ever seen, or some weird stuff like that. Listen, he has a very troubling, crazy past that a lot of people that are unaware of. But he's held as some black hero, you know, amongst us. I don't get it. Now let's get more into the story, because you know, I don't want to keep you out here too long. Now, at first, Kwame wasn't even speaking on the Breakfast Club. This is the crazy part. His beef initially was with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, and you know, he was just going on a little rant last week. I can't lie, but he was making good points. So, you know, I can't say nothing about it. It had nothing to do with the Breakfast Club though. But like they always do, they find themselves minding everybody's business and speak on other people's situations and poke fun at them. But Kwame Brown said, not today. Now, Charlamagne jumped in being Charlamagne, doing what he do, and the Breakfast Club followed like they usually do. They started speaking on things that they had no business speaking on. They even went as far as speaking on Kwame Brown and his personal family business, calling his family killers and murderers, saying they're violent, and they brought up Kwame's father cheating on his mother, his father going to jail, his father having kids outside of their mother's marriage. Like this is what I'm saying. You don't do things like this. You don't talk about people's past. You don't know how emotional people can be when you talk about things like this. Not to mention, Charlamagne is a proud advocate of mental health and mental disorder and depression and seeking help and therapy and all that stuff. But yet you sit there and clown a man who had to go through and endure so much. This is another black man who come from the South as well, if I'm not mistaken. You should be uplifting him as well, not tearing each other down. And not to mention, why not mind your business? With all this going on between Steven Jack and Matt Barnes and Kwame, who knows what they problems or their issues are? Why are you butting in this man's business? But now you did, and now it got too hot for you, and you want to send cease and desist letters, and also we're gonna get to that. But anyway, to continue, like I said, real personal, touchy information they was talking about. And not to mention, Kwame's mother actually passed away in 2009. So you bringing up old wounds. You talking about a man's mother that actually passed away, the father and all that. So you bringing up very touchy subjects. All right. And, you know, we already know that Charlamagne is friends with the guys Matt Barnes and Steven Jack. So I see why he tried to put his nose in the business, but this time it came back to bite him pretty bad. Because Kwame had tea on Charlamagne that not a lot of us knew, because they are both from the South and possibly share the same friends. And aside from the case, he just brought up a lot of good points about the entertainment world, just period. And he was exposing everything as far as the NBA, how dirty these elites go, these colleges with these young basketball players, not wanting these kids to graduate straight from high school no more because the colleges wasn't making any money. Listen, he really took it there, and I commend him on it. But anyway, instead of backing down for Charlamagne like most of the victims of his shade does, Kwame decided to play. He reminded Charlamagne that his past isn't all peaches and cream, and instead of talking about his father, he needs to worry about the rape case he was accused of when Charlamagne was accused of raping a 15-year-old girl by the name of Jessica Reed when he was only 22. So now look, she was 15 and he was 22. Now listen, man. According to Jessica Reed, Charlamagne was a friend of the family. He ended up taking her to a party and putting something into her drink, and she describes the feeling as, quote, not being able to walk, feeling very not herself, and actually collapsing out of nowhere. She said she couldn't feel her legs. It was an interview she did with Star, the guy from Star and Buck Wild. It was an interview they did or whatever the case may be, and she actually described that she couldn't feel her legs. She just felt not normal. All right. So, one, from my understanding, Charlamagne was an older friend of the family, and I don't know why he was even allowed to take her anywhere, especially a party, because he's 22, she's 15 years old. And the way she was describing the situation was like that her and Charlamagne was actually close. Like, she didn't like him in the form of wanting to have sexual intercourse with him, but they was pretty like okay with each other. But like I said, that's still crazy to me, because that's a crazy age gap. 22 to 15, that's a crazy age gap. But we also got to remember that in certain places, especially in the South, things like that aren't too abnormal. All right, y'all follow me? But anyway, he was initially charged with felony sexual assault, if I'm not mistaken. Sexual felony assault. Felony sexual assault, which is very serious, but it was later reduced to contributing to the delinquent of a minor. All right, now y'all remember those charges. Remember those words: contributing to the delinquent of a minor. And a lot of people don't even realize that. Excuse me, this case was closed in 2009, and The Breakfast Club actually first aired in 2010. So that means right off of that case, fresh off of that case, he became a radio personality on The Breakfast Club. Now, he'd been doing, radio personality for wherever, all these other miscellaneous stations or whatever the case may be, but I think Power 105 was actually one of his biggest platforms. So, like I said, in 2010, that's when he joined. 2009, the case must have got dismissed or thrown out, whatever the case may be. But anyway, Charlamagne spoke with Billboard in 2018 regarding the rape allegations, and this is what he had to say about it. He said, quote, "Over 17 years ago, I pled guilty to contributing to the delinquency of a minor and served 3 years of probation after irresponsibly hosting a party where alcohol was served to minors." He also said, "I will forever regret my role in creating an environment that was less than safe. I cooperated with authorities, participated in multiple interviews, and submitted to DNA testing. Ultimately, the assault charge was dismissed because I had no physical contact with the alleged victim whatsoever." So, Charlamagne says it's because he had no physical contact with her that the case was dropped. However, he did host a party that may have led to her being assaulted, but he wasn't the one that did it. So let's see how let's see this, right? So he's admitting that something may have happened to her. All right, but he's saying that he himself wasn't the actual suspect. But Jessica Reed's mother says that he's lying. But she say he's lying pretty much. She's saying that the only reason Charlamagne was actually not charged correctly was because she forced her daughter not to testify on what happened that night. Excuse me. She said that she believed that by forcing her daughter not to testify will help her so they can be done with the whole situation and her daughter wouldn't have to deal with the scrutiny and humiliation that actually came with it. But she also says that she regrets it now because Charlamagne gets to walk around like he's innocent and he's a free man, but he's not innocent. And during the Star, I was about to say Star and Buck, wow. During the Star interview that Star did with Jessica Reed, the victim, she actually said that she don't want his money, she don't want none of that. She just want the world to know what's really going on because he's basically not living in his truth. He did what he did. She's saying that he drugged her, right? Put something in her drink, and by the time she collapsed and woke up, he was actually on top of her. She's saying that she woke up to Charlamagne on top of her. Now, of course, a lot of these cases, like commonly, like, you know, victims of these cases, it usually go unknown because a lot of these women don't want to deal with the public scrutiny. A lot of these women feel like they don't want to be humiliated, which also sometimes leads to suicide. It leads to suicide because these girls, they feel bad that they had to go through this. They feel that people won't believe them. They feel that it's disgusting. And I agree. I don't disagree at all. But like I said, man, Charlamagne is pretty bold because on many occasions he actually spoke about drugging women using the Spanish fly drugs, causing them to pass out, and then he have his own way with them. He actually said that on his show that he have with that guy, I think it's called Brilliant Idiots. But he didn't, no, not Brilliant Idiots, on his podcast, one of them. But he actually boasts about this all the time. He actually made jokes about that a few times. And to be honest, I think that warrants enough evidence to reopen that rape case, being that she's alleging that he did exactly that to her. The same things that he joked about, she's alleging that he did it to her. So that should be enough evidence right there. If someone is accused of something like that, you should not play with that. That's nothing first of all, that's nothing to play with from the beginning. But if you're being accused of that, that's definitely not something you play with. And now that I think about it, it actually reminds me of the time where Rick Ross got in trouble for that verse on You Don't Even Know. What was it? He said, put Molly all in her champagne. She ain't even know it. I took her home and had fun with that. She ain't even know it. Now, we all know, I don't know if y'all remember back, whatever year that was. Rick Ross faced a lot of backlash off of that. He actually lost his Reebok deal. He actually lost a couple of deals because of that whole situation. And those were just words. We don't even know if he was really into it. It was just words. It was something he played around and said, right? But here, this man, he's actually alleged of being a suspect in a sexual assault case just like that. And he's actually agreeing and making jokes about it, and he gets to walk scot-free. No deals canceled, no nothing. Swept under the rug. And like I said, not to mention that same line that Rick Ross put in that song, I took her home and had fun with that. If y'all remember correctly, Charlamagne actually sided with Ross on that whole situation, actually joked about it on live radio. On the Breakfast Club. So come on, I like I said, I don't know if y'all remember that. If I can find it, I'll put it in the description box. I don't know if I can, but like I said, if I can, I'll put it out there so y'all can check it out yourself. But I don't know, man. I don't know how Charlamagne actually maintained success as he been through all these allegations with this whole case. He got his own podcast, he got his own show, he gets awards, the whole 9 yards. But I don't know, man. I'm actually a little surprised because we all know that Charlamagne, like he got thick skin, man, but that tough armor that people usually can't penetrate through, and he doesn't let anything or anyone get to him. Guess what? Your boy Kwame definitely got through today. He got through. Just as much as you dish it out, man, you gotta have no problem taking it. You got to. Kwame seemed to have ruffled a little bit of his feathers. Like I said, I think today Charlamagne actually apologized to Kwame and even gave himself Donkey of the Day. What's today, Monday? Yeah, the 24th. He actually gave himself Donkey of the Day, and he actually apologized to Kwame, and that usually don't happen. I wonder why. And you know what's funny? Everyone in the Shade Room comments commended him for being a bigger person, for being mature. First of all, you can't be considered the bigger person when it's something that you started. And two, I see people saying he's mature for apologizing. No, he's not mature. It's deeper than that. He opened a can of worms with Kwame Brown that he thought he could just do like he do everyone else, and Kwame exposed him. And Kwame stood on all 10 and told him, I dare you to reply because I got more for you. And now look, he's on national radio. He's on national radio apologizing. Now, when it comes to this, man, I'm not picking sides, but Kwame has a point, and we can't be selective with who we cancel. Kwame is calling for people to cancel Charlemagne. Me, I don't really believe in stopping anybody's money, but at the end of the day, you can't sit there and clown people and have a shady past such as what Charlamagne had. And like I said, judging by Charlemagne's past, he does have a lot of qualifications to be canceled based on what he been through. He's sitting there bashing guys like Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, knowing how easy it is to pin a rape case on someone. If you feel like that. Not saying any victims are lying, but I do know that it is easy as you having consensual sex with a woman and she could get mad at you and then say that you raped her, and then guess what? You got a case that you got to prove. You got to spend money on lawyers to prove it because they got DNA testing on you that adds up. If it goes that far. All she needs is a solid story. But like I said, you got people like him who, I don't know, man, things, I don't know. We got to see how this plays out. But all I'm saying is, man, I just want to bring this to y'all attention. Y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comment box below. Let me know how y'all feel. Do y'all feel Charlamagne really did it? Do y'all feel that Kwame went a little too hard? Do y'all feel like Kwame got a point? How y'all feel? Y'all let me know in the comment box. Y'all know how we do, man. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as y'all keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. And I'm out.